Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Bottom Bins podcast. Listen, before we start, as a group we would just like to thank absolutely everybody who supported the podcast. We had some lovely messages sent to us this week, some with a bit of constructive criticism, which we are thankful for, which we did need. So look, everything that people say is appreciated. We appreciate the views on YouTube. Honestly, I don't think we expected to get a response as big, did we, lads?
We were expecting, 20 viewers, and we've had
over 200.
Over 200.
Brilliant stuff.
Going strong.
So honestly, we're just going to keep plugging away, keep plugging at it, and look, like I said, we appreciate all the support that comes our way. So we're going to crack on here, get right into it. First game of the week, we are going top of the table. Chelsea versus Arsenal. Finished 1-0 to Arsenal. What are we thinking, lads?
You have to consider them.
Arsenal could be the real deal, boys.
They could be.
Yeah.
Mikel Arteta, a lot of question marks about him in the last few years, but seems to be doing his thing and doing it well.
No, I thought Arsenal totally outplayed Chelsea yesterday. Just a far better team. They're just confident. They're young. They're confident, and I think they are the biggest challenge to City. I can't see anybody else really challenging.
I love the fact that you said young.
Yeah.
Like Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Saliba. Jesus isn't old. Do you know what I mean? The Ramsdale and Nets. It is a young team. There's potential for that team. If they keep it going this year, there's no reason why that won't be the same team in the next 5 years.
You have to give credit, boys, to, I know the ownership got a lot of stick and higher up Edu and stuff like that, but they stuck by Arteta and they know this is a project and they stuck by him, and now they're getting the rewards.
Yeah, they're reaping the rewards. Look, Arteta has an 83% win percentage rate this season.
Incredible.
That's honestly that's a fascinating stat. Arsenal just really, I think the one thing you could say about them at the minute is, and look, I touched on it last week, they just play some lovely attacking football. They keep the ball so well.
Even their centre backs.
Oh, centre back's fantastic.
Ben White on mind. We nutmeg,
and then give him the wee stare down as well.
Yeah, Ben White's playing some good stuff.
Saliba was the man of the match.
Yeah,
and I think deservedly so. His defensive performances this season have been nothing short of just fantastic.
Yeah, he's been brilliant.
I think if we're talking about maybe doing an early sort of team of the season for the Premier League, I think Saliba's the first choice centre back.
Yeah, he has
there.
to be there.
100%.
Has to be there.
He's been fantastic. Now, on the flip side of the game, although you could give Arsenal a lot of credit, Chelsea, what's going on, lads?
One shot on target the whole game in the first half, and it
just looks like Potter hasn't found his team.
I know.
It's weird. It's odd. And you have to think all the signings, well, near enough all the signings, that the new signings that were playing on that Chelsea side yesterday, they were all Tuchel signings, and he was sacked, 2-3 weeks later?
I know.
What's expected there?
Well, they're expecting top four, at least. They were expecting to challenge for the league, but it's just attacking wise, they've just been so poor this season. Sterling has not performed to his best at City. He was a great player, but he's just underperformed. It's hard to know, boys. Is it down to the formation? Is it down to...
There's an apparent lack of creativity within Chelsea's side at the minute. Mount was playing out on the left hand side yesterday, and Tuchel was the same. Tuchel stuck to this very rigid sort of midfield of Jorginho, Kovacic, Kante. Obviously that's a little bit different under Potter. It's Jorginho, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Kovacic comes in there sometimes, and when Kante is fit, Kante normally plays anyway. Even though I would say this season and last season as well, Kante doesn't look the same player.
He does provide the balance, though.
He does, yes, but I wonder for just how long Kante can sustain that.
Well, I don't think he'd sign a new contract end of the year.
No.
Doesn't look like it anyway.
I did say last week, but I do think Kante is a big miss.
Yeah.
Because he is defensively brilliant, and he's even improved going forward, getting the ball, going with it. But as you said, there's no creativity.
No.
They're not creating the chances. Like, Aubameyang was very poor yesterday. I see he had 8 touches the whole game, which is just...
It's criminal.
It's criminal.
It's criminal for a guy who is, like... Look, Aubameyang is still a good, solid 15-20 goal a season.
Even when he went to Barcelona,
he was still scoring goals.
Still scoring goals.
Yeah. I mean, look, Potter, he won his first 6 games in charge at Chelsea. Quite comfortably in some of those games. I know, I can remember back to the Palace game. They did struggle a little bit in that game. But he now only has 1 win in his last 5 in the Premier League.
Difficult spell.
they've only scored 4 goals in their last 5 Premier League games.
I do think it is to do with the teams they're playing as well. Their run of fixtures has been a bit more difficult. I think like he actually got a good start because the teams they were playing weren't the best. I think even Tuchel would have got results there if they'd have given more time. And now they're really getting found out.
Well, do you think Tuchel would have beat Man United at Stamford Bridge? Do you think he would have beat Arsenal yesterday?
I thought like even when they played Man United, they were very lucky to even get a point. I know that you'd be like, oh, the United scored 94th minute, but they didn't create anything, and I don't think he got enough time.
It's tough. Like Tuchel came in and won a Champions League with him. I think every football fan knows he shouldn't have been sacked, but when you read all the things about that new owner coming in, he clearly didn't want Tuchel. He wanted someone that fits his system.
Yeah.
And Tuchel didn't seem too bothered to go after hearing what the owner had to say in the first few weeks either.
But the argument could be then, why he spent so much money in the summer?
Yeah.
So they give him that time to spend the money. Why not give him time to develop the team?
No.
See, apparently the whole fallout came from the fact that again, if you read the speculation, Bowley approached Tuchel and said, we want to sign Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And Tuchel was like,
No,
not a chance.
Not a chance.
And I'm not having Ronaldo in my system.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe that's a destination for Ronaldo in January then? Possibly, or, does he look towards maybe going to Chelsea? Do you think Chelsea's a better outfit than Man United?
Look, I don't know if he's going to go to Chelsea or if he's going to leave United at all. But, like, just on Chelsea, I don't think they should have signed Aubameyang. What age is Aubameyang? 33 or 34?
He's 35.
He's 35.
He's 35.
Like, he's a bit long in the tooth. He's a great player. We all know he's a great player, but was he the right signing at that time? He might have been for Tuchel, but
I think that was it, wasn't it? It was like he had played under Tuchel and
Yeah.
Dortmund. They had that relationship.
yeah.
And now that's gone, it's just...
Did they even get a game together?
I think
Did
they
they
played
get-
one
did they get
Champions
one?
League game, wasn't it? The
Yeah.
Dynamo
One game together?
But
Like,
look,
Yeah.
they got rid of Lukaku, and obviously, yes, Lukaku did not perform last year. He didn't. But he's still going to guarantee you more goals, or if not the exact same goals as Aubameyang. There was absolutely no reason for them to get rid of Lukaku to replace him with Aubameyang. If they were getting rid of Lukaku, they got rid of Timo Werner. If they were replacing Werner with Aubameyang, that's fantastic business in my opinion. But replacing Lukaku with him,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if they were replacing someone they paid 100 million for, they should have got probably a better player, or like nobody looked at, what do you call the fella from Napoli? Is it Simeone? Not Napoli. Lazio, is he?
Gio
Simeone.
he's Napoli now.
He's Napoli now, is
Yeah.
he? He went for like 13 million, and he was a perfect player for Chelsea, in my opinion. I just don't understand why they went for Aubameyang.
I just can't see Ronaldo going to Chelsea because it's going to be the same problems. They're not creating any chances, so I don't think it really is the striker's problem at the minute. I think it is they're missing like a creative spark.
A link player. Yeah. And it maybe begs the question, could somebody go in for Maddison in January then, if that's the case?
That would be a very good buy.
I think it would
But
be a
it'd be
good
very
buy.
expensive.
Yeah, look, he's going to cost you 70, 80 million, but
Yeah.
I think it would be a better investment than
Definitely.
Ronaldo, per se.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
All right, well, we'll move it on then. Sitting the next biggest game of the weekend. Big 3 points. First away win for Liverpool this weekend against Tottenham Hotspur. Look, I think we'll start with Spurs. It was a game of two halves, definitely.
Yeah.
Liverpool come out and dominated the first half. They looked like the Liverpool of old. And Spurs then, like they have done in recent weeks, come out in the second half, made a couple of changes and looked a lot brighter then in the second half. But Salah already had the damage done. What's your assessment of it then, lads? How do we think Liverpool deserve it of the 3 points?
From the most unbiased opinion as a United fan, it was good to see Salah scoring again. Like, he's a great player, and he wasn't hitting his form. Like, I loved seeing him being awful this season.
Yeah.
Like, seeing Liverpool's downfall for me is class. Like, but from an unbiased point of view, it was good to see Salah among the goals because the fans need it. The fans needed that lift against Spurs yesterday. They really needed it. First away win this season. Come on,
It's crazy.
A club like Liverpool,
Like,
should
to
not,
be
at this stage,
November and only get their first
Shouldn't
win.
have
The mad thing is about Salah as well is like I know he hasn't been performing well, but he still scores goals.
Yeah.
I seen he scored like 11 in his last 12.
Yeah.
And,
Well, he has 6. He has 6 goals and he has 3 assists so far in the
know.
Premier League this season.
I've seen as well, he's like 19 goals and assists in the last 20 games. Like, that is
Really?
just crazy. I know, it's just like, you don't...
People don't think about
People
that
just
kind
don't
of
think
thing.
about that
yeah.
kind of thing. He is scoring. I think it was just more like his all-round play.
It's because we're so used to seeing Salah hit these high
High numbers.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
used to them high numbers.
And because he's dipped in form a bit,
Yeah.
and we're seeing slightly smaller numbers, which are still above average,
Yeah.
we think it's, well, the general football fan thinks it's a poor season.
Well, if that's I'll take the blue side of Merseyside. If that's Calvert-Lewin that has 6
Yeah.
goals and 3 assists already, you'd be saying
That's a great start to the season.
you'd be like, do you know what? Calvert-Lewin is in with a shout for the England squad.
Exactly.
The point as
Yeah.
well is what Oren says as well about Salah. He was so much better. It was even, even his defensive work. He was working. It's seen Klopp came out and said that, he's like a different player. He was just, see, they missed that with Mane. Tracking back, press. And I thought Liverpool did play well that first half, but I thought second half they dipped. But that is what happens when you're 2-0 up. You're away to Tottenham. You're going for your first away win of the season. You need that win. You've come off back-to-back losses against 2 of the sides that are lower in the league. So I don't blame them for that, but they did ride their luck a bit at the end.
I think Trent also looked a lot better yesterday. It's actually, I would maybe go as far as to say, that's maybe Trent's best defensive performance of this season. Definitely looked a lot.
Robertson looked good too.
Robertson looked good too. Look,
And then Konate's in there too. I've seen he's played 3 games, 3 wins.
That just goes to show you, like when you have your full 11 injury free, like Liverpool are still a top side.
Yeah.
It's just about trying to find consistency now, and because look, they did it against City, they blitzed City and deservedly won.
Yeah.
But then the next 2 games they were absolutely shocking
Yeah,
and
yeah,
dropped 6 points
Mhm.
when realistically they
It
shouldn't
should have been 6
I
points.
do think
forward.
Liverpool, as you said, if they can kick on now, just get the points going, they'll definitely be up
they
the
should
league this
kick
year.
on. Yeah.
What
Definitely.
about Spurs? Do you think?
I think Conte is maybe going to be looked at in a bit of a negative light
At the moment?
at the moment. Yeah, look, we were driving up the road yesterday,
Yeah.
and obviously TalkSport was on, and there was quite a few Spurs fans actually phoned in,
Yeah.
questioning whether Conte was actually the right
Yeah,
man
that's
for
true,
Tottenham.
yeah.
Look, recent defeats to Liverpool, Newcastle, United, and Arsenal, all teams that are realistically going to be fighting it out with Spurs
The
for
rivals,
that sort of
rivals, yeah.
that top 4 sort of spot. It doesn't make for good reading. The stats in regards to Spurs are not great at the minute. They are turning the ball over quite a lot. They're turning the ball over on an average of 6 times per 90 minutes, which isn't really great reading.
Not for a Spurs team that's so defensively, meant to be so defensively sound.
yeah,
under
exactly.
Antonio Conte.
I think Kane is having another Harry Kane season. He's playing very well, but he's actually going a little bit unnoticed at the minute. But I think that's just because Haaland's just far and away so
Yeah,
much better than
yeah,
everybody
I
else.
think
that-
with Kane as well, he has to do so much for that team.
he does. He does.
It's not
He
just his
carries them.
goals, it's his build up play. He has to carry
Like-
the ball,
like-
his passing.
Like he was playing on his own yesterday with
know.
Perisic
Yeah.
behind him.
Well, not having Son and not having Son in good form this season is actually really hurting Spurs at the minute.
You've seen when Kulusevski came on as well, what a difference he makes. He's so creative. They are missing that too. It's a bit like
Yeah.
Chelsea. They need that. He got the assist for the goal.
Yeah.
And at the end, they were so close. Bentancur nearly scored. Longley missed a header at the end. Though I thought they were unlucky not to get a point.
Yeah.
But again, it's to do with the fact they keep conceding the first goal, and you're not going to keep getting away with that. I know that they got lucky last week. Well, not lucky, but they came back last week against Bournemouth. But that's not going to happen every week. The
stadium was bouncing too after Spurs scored.
It was.
see,
the
Conte
crowd
was
was
complaining
nuts.
too because they were booing at half time.
I know.
But you know what? The fans are entitled to their opinion.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
and if your team come off,
But like that first half performance, they were very
they were
poor.
shocking, and what's a Conte side known for? Being defensively sound.
yeah.
So if you go in 2-0 down at half time because of one of them was definitely a defensive error.
Dyer's mistake,
Dyer's
yeah.
mistake. That's definitely an error. Maybe the second one's more so Salah brilliance than
Good finish.
an error per se. But look, I don't know with Spurs. I really just don't know with Spurs.
Do you think they'll get top 4?
The funny thing is they're still sitting there. They're sitting in third. They have
Yeah.
a good amount of points.
Yeah.
But I think, as you said, Connor, it's they pick up the points against the teams you expect, but the rivals, the higher up teams, they really do struggle there.
They do.
I don't
It's weird. It like Spurs are just a weird side at the minute. Like, I think if Son gets back and gets firing, I think they'll be 100%. Like, there'll be no problem.
Like I've sat here too. Like in the first half, they have 9 goals this season. In the second half, they have 18. They're just not a first half team. Like
Sorry,
That's true, yeah.
They're second half.
That's what's killing them. They're going a goal down. They struggle in the first half, and then they make the change at half time, and then suddenly they
Something
get
shifts.
goals.
Yeah, something shifts. Okay, Manchester City versus Fulham. City obviously chasing Arsenal.
Yeah.
They managed to go ahead, top of the table for one night and one night only. Erling Haaland, he just is inevitable, really, isn't he?
He is.
Off
What
the
is
bench.
it? 18 goals in 12 games or something?
He is 12 appearances, 18 goals, 3 assists.
Yeah,
They're
it's
totally
ridiculous.
different side.
Absolutely.
21
players.
goal contributions in 12 league games.
Yeah.
Like.
In saying that, City dominated the game, but
I know City
they
had
were lucky to get a result.
City had 72% possession.
Yeah.
And they played 65 minutes with 10
Yeah.
men. Like that is crazy. Like Fulham didn't really create much after City went down to 10 men, but once Haaland came off the bench, he got the goal, which was offside.
That's right.
And then he obviously got the penalty, or with the Bruyne got the penalty, and then he scored the winner. But he's just on another level. That's
You actually really seen the difference when Haaland wasn't in the side and when
Yeah.
Haaland was in the side. Like you would say last week at Leicester as well. Again, we touched on it last week. They did look a different side without Haaland last week, and they really had to grind.
yeah.
They were, I think they were in cruise control against Fulham at times. You know, the same intensity levels weren't really there because I'd say they looked at Fulham and thought like, you know, we can just sort of ping the ball around them and play our style of football. But look, when Haaland come on, they definitely looked a better side. I don't think João Cancelo's red card was a red card. Personally,
Very soft.
I think it was a foul, yes, but I mean to be given
Soft
a
red card,
to be given a red card for it, especially after being VAR checked as well.
I
You know, I don't know. I think there's still, you know, it's crazy that in 2022 VAR has been in the game now. What, 3
There's
years?
just no consistency.
There's
Like,
no consistency with
like
it.
you
Like,
look at, I know we're moving on from the last game, but like even Arnold's push. You know, where's the real
it was the same
difference?
thing.
It's the same,
I
same
mean,
thing.
it was the same.
It's
foul.
just what it is with VAR is it's just the ref's perspective, whatever he thinks, and the VAR rarely change it. They'll just go with a decision on the field. If he would have booked Cancelo, I don't think he would have been sent off. I don't think it is to say, "Oh, change that red card."
Yeah.
I think it's just whatever he goes with. It's very hard to
that's
change
the way
it.
it stands. Yeah.
Just to
It's
go
weird.
back on what you said about Holland and how the team was different, it does show a lot for City squad depth though. It is phenomenal.
I know even Alvarez.
Julian Alvarez.
He scored.
He scored. Yeah, he played great football. He is. Look,
I think
very
he's
young.
three or 4 goals this year already.
his stats last year in the Argentinian league were fantastic. It's unreal to have a player like that as your backup striker.
I know.
Unreal. And he's so versatile. Like when he first came into the side, he was playing in the right wing. He's played in the left wing for City, and he's played up top when Holland's been gone as well. It's great to have a player like that.
City have a lot of players like that as well. Versatile. Like, you know,
True.
even you think
Bernardo Silva.
yeah, but even
And
players they
Foden.
had before, like Sterling would have played
Yeah.
either wing.
I don't think they
Jesus,
missed Sterling though.
No,
or Jesus. You know, like they just replace. They're so good at replacing players.
Yeah.
And
It's,
I don't think they miss Jesus either.
No.
And don't get me wrong, Jesus is absolutely unreal.
Yeah.
He was fantastic for Arsenal at the
Yeah.
weekend once again. But I don't think City miss him.
but like Haaland's just, I think, that next level.
Yeah.
To Jesus, because Jesus has got all of that, the build-up play, the great touch, but it's his finishing that lets him down. When Haaland is just lethal. Even that
he's
header,
dead.
I know it was offside, but
class.
that header.
He's deadly.
Like people
His
have said that as
movement.
well. They said, "Oh, could his heading be his vulnerability?"
Yeah.
And it's just not.
No.
He doesn't have one.
He could score goals with any part of his body. Like he's just ridiculous.
I do
He's so
think
fast.
I
so
do think
quick.
as well for Fulham, Mitrovic, big miss, boys.
Massive.
You know.
Massive. I actually have a stat here. So Fulham have 5 wins in the Premier League this year. In all 5 of those wins, Mitrovic has played 90 minutes and scored in each of those 5 games.
Incredible.
When he's not in the side, they do struggle. They definitely don't look the same side when Mitrovic isn't playing. They just don't really have an outlet up front. I think that fella Vinicius, no,
Couldn't do it at Spurs.
didn't do it at Spurs and doesn't look like he's going to do it at Fulham either.
Yeah.
And do you know what the weird thing about him is? Like I looked at him the other day when I was watching the match, and like he's a big lump of a lad.
He is.
Yeah.
Big fella.
Like you would think his sort of body type and his attributes would suit playing in the
Yeah.
Premier League,
Like,
but it must just be up here.
Yeah.
His game intelligence,
mentally,
yeah,
yeah.
just mustn't be great because he never really looks to be in the right positions. Whereas Mitrovic is, I mean, it's what he's known for. Like,
In saying that though, I think it's great that we're talking about this because Fulham are, well, as we would have thought at the start of the season, Fulham's overachieving.
Yeah, they're like a surprise package.
But they're playing fantastic football, and it's great to see because Fulham are one of them teams you want to see do well.
Yeah.
And with Mitrovic in form, they are doing well.
As you say as well, like they went away to City, who are one of the best teams in the world, and they're disappointed to lose that game 2-1.
Yeah.
Well, they tweeted out straight away after.
Yeah.
That was cruel, so cruel.
Yeah.
And they were missing their striker.
Exactly.
It's just
So
crazy. What do you boys think about the penalty as well?
It was cruel.
See, that's again with the VAR. There's some games you see videos on Twitter all the time. How is this a penalty and this isn't a penalty?
Yeah.
It's just, would that have been given as a penalty if the ref hadn't give it? Not a chance. VAR would not have given
probably,
that.
yeah, probably not. Like,
No.
you know, it's.
But
again,
it is one of them things where VAR has to overturn it.
Yeah.
If the referee's made an on-field decision, they have to try and overturn it. They have to find reasons to overturn it. So we can understand why it was given, but personally, I don't think it was a penalty.
It's just weird. Like, you know, see if you look at like the TMO in rugby, they assist the referee so well, and
you can hear them as well.
You can hear them,
Absolutely.
and they're spotting incidents on the field that the referee can't pick up. But basically, what the Premier League are saying is, well, if the camera doesn't pick it up and it's not seen, then it doesn't need to be given. But sure, how's that fair? You know, I honestly, I just think there needs to be more consistency with VAR, and maybe referees need to go away over the summer and do a course on VAR, and maybe the Premier League need to look at it and find a better way to implement it. But at the minute, you would have to say,
I think it'd be a good idea to have to be able to hear what they're saying as well. Because apparently the commentators, they can hear what they're saying. Yeah. But we can't.
Well, they've done it in Australia for a game.
Yeah.
There was a referee, I think he was either retiring or he was going to the championship. I can't quite remember.
I think he's the Australian ref. Is
he in the championship?
He's in the Premier League.
He's in the Premier League.
Yeah, no, he's refereeing the Premier League.
Well, his last game in the Australian Premier League, they had him mic'd up and he had a GoPro on. And him talking to the players was like in rugby, like they listened to him. Whereas in the Premier League, that referee's getting abuse if he gives a decision. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, if they brought in something like that there, so the fans would have more of an idea of what the referee and why the referee is given specific decisions. Yeah, rather than us not hearing anything and us forming our own opinions based on, well, video evidence.
Yeah.
But that's the point that Connor made as well, the TMO. You can hear what they're saying, they make the decision, they work with the referee. That's all you want.
That is what you want.
Yeah.
All right, Unai Emery, off to the perfect start.
I'd like to publicly apologise. So last week, my opinion was that Unai Emery will not succeed at Aston Villa. Look, I'm not changing my opinion. I still think, like any Aston Villa, anybody could have been hired, in my opinion, and they'll still be gone the next 2 or 3 years. However, a 3-1 win against Man United.
It's pretty good
You
start.
couldn't write it, you couldn't write it.
I know, you couldn't write it after what I said last week.
I think
bad timing.
You know, the interesting thing is Emery was able to come in straight away and revive 2 careers, Leon Bailey and Emi Buendia.
You were saying last week, though, you said that Villa have good players.
But they do. Like, their squad is good enough to be in the top 8, definitely in the top 8 of the Premier League.
Bailey, you mentioned him, or specifically, you said he is a top player. If
he
you
is.
get it out of him, he will be.
He is.
Yeah.
Honestly, Bailey, like, I think it was the year before he left to go to Villa. Like, some of the compilations you seen on like the Bundesliga's like socials, some of the things that he was doing was absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Taking like 5 men on at one time. Like, I think Bailey's a really, really good player. Buendia as well. I actually think Buendia suits playing at the 10.
Yeah.
Rather than on the wing.
Right. Yeah.
I think he's got some good intricate skills that allow him to sort of skip in between players and thread, break the lines, thread those balls through. He was very, very good yesterday. I think, just Villa in general were very good yesterday.
Emery's got a good track record with wingers.
Yeah.
Look at Danjuma and Chukwueze of Villarreal. They were brilliant on him.
Even his Sevilla side, he was the guy that sort of centred Reguilón and that's when Reguilón's career sort of really took off, was under Emery as well.
But Jacob Ramsey was impressive yesterday too.
Yeah.
Goal assist.
He's a good player.
I think Ramsey's a very good player.
He could well be in Gareth Southgate's plans.
I think he could be in the 55.
Yeah.
But again, if we're talking full World Cup squad, I don't think he's good enough quite yet.
But then for the next...
What age is he? 21?
I actually don't know what age
Well,
he is.
he's young anyway.
21, yeah, he's young.
You know, he's a good footballer.
Yeah, he is.
Definitely is a good footballer.
And he walked past us.
He did.
The goal
last year.
yesterday, the third goal, boys.
He walked past us last season at Old Trafford,
Trafford.
and I goes to him.
I thought you meant like you walked past the midfield.
No.
We went to see Villa United.
We went to see Villa United last year, and he literally walked past us coming out of Old Trafford. We had went up to collect our girlfriends, and he walked past us, and I goes to Oren. Oren, I'm pretty sure that's Jacob Ramsey that just walked past us. I was like, "Will we get a photo?" And he was like, "No."
We had just lost in the 90th minute to Villa at home, and Bruno just missed a penalty, skated over outside of the stadium. But anyway,
It's a common theme, this getting beat by
I
Villa,
know
isn't it?
it is.
And we'll play them on Thursday in the cup.
I will probably get beat there too.
I know, that's true. A lot of people were talking about Emery's win yesterday, and we're thinking, oh look, new manager, it's usually a good start, and it is when you think about it. But before yesterday, in his first match with each of his clubs, he had a 37% win percentage. That's not good.
No, it's not great.
And
actually.
then after yesterday, it ended up being 44%. So with 9 clubs, he has 4 losses, 4 wins, and 1 draw. I don't think anybody could have really predicted them beating United yesterday, especially United in the form that they were.
Can I be honest with you, lad, though? Do you see when I woke up yesterday morning, there was just something telling me.
A gut feeling.
They're
But
genuinely...
do you not feel that every time United play away from home? Because I do.
Yeah, fair enough.
I maybe just feel that every time United play, to be honest.
But see with Emery there as well, a point I'll back you up and away. At Arsenal, he started very well. I think they went like 20-something games unbeaten, and it just...
And he got them to the
tailed.
Europa League final in his first season at Arsenal.
And then it just tailed. So you're not wrong yet, lad.
Yeah. No,
Give it
not
time,
yet.
give it
time, and then he'll prove me wrong eventually.
I think, if we're looking as well, then, if you take the flip side of the game, United were just so poor yesterday. Honestly, I haven't seen them play that badly since the Brentford game.
Yeah.
They were really, really
Lack of
bad
depth.
yesterday. Lack of depth, definitely.
Bruno out of the team.
Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah, it's different.
With our squad, it's not going to work.
Bruno out of the team and Van de Beek in is a
Without
huge
Bruno,
downgrade.
Without Bruno, there's no creativity.
Yeah.
I know he gives away the ball a lot, but he's the only man that really...
Well, Bruno creates 8 shot leading actions per 90.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Do you know the only player in the Premier League that creates more?
No.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Best of the best.
You know what I mean? Like, and everybody has said, put De Bruyne and Bruno on that sort of attacking midfield pedestal for the last couple of seasons. Like, they do go right up there with one another. But just goes to show you, 8 shot leading actions per 90. That's a lot.
But that's the thing that I always said about Bruno as well. He creates so much, but it was like, the players weren't finishing the chances.
Yeah.
We've scored 18 goals in the league.
Imagine that man with Haaland.
Yeah.
How many more assists he would have.
Yeah.
Well, look, United lacked it going forward yesterday, but they also lacked at the back yesterday too. I mean, look, we're back down to a -1 goal difference. Yeah. It's not... I don't know. I just find Martinez needs Varane and Varane needs Martinez. Yeah. And when they don't have one another, they just look lost.
Yeah.
I thought Martinez played all right yesterday, to be honest. I think him and Garnacho were the only two that could really sort of come off the pitch being like, you know what, I tried.
Well, Casemiro played well.
Yeah, Casemiro was all right yesterday too. But I don't know. I just feel like...
Do you know what, though? Can I be honest? I think Maguire should have started yesterday. Last week, Maguire started in our win against West Ham. I don't think there was a reason for him not to be starting in this game.
I think he started the game against West Ham because they were just one-dimensional, cross the ball in.
He didn't do anything wrong, though. He didn't do anything wrong.
No, look, he didn't.
And I'll be the first person to criticise Harry Maguire, but he did not do anything wrong.
He didn't do anything wrong, but you have to look at the opposition you're playing as well, lad. And like Buendia and Bailey, they would have tore him apart yesterday.
I don't think it would
honestly.
be any difference, lad.
I don't know. I just think Lindelof. I hate seeing a high ball come into Lindelof because he let it bounce every time, whereas Harry Maguire will attack it. Look, he should be getting every single one of them. He doesn't. But I don't know. Just in my opinion, I think Maguire should have started, especially after Thursday night when we played horribly against Sociedad. I know we came out with a win, but we played horribly. Maguire should have played.
Should have brought Maguire.
I brought him on a striker again. I know. Tactical masterclass.
Whip them balls in. Yeah. Okay, so Southampton, Newcastle. Another big win for Newcastle. Honestly, they are really marching on at the minute. So, going to key in on 2 players in particular this season for Newcastle. We talked a lot about Wilson last week and whether he should go to the World Cup, but I want to talk about another England international, Kieran Trippier. Mm-hmm. Is he England's best right back?
Has to be.
Has to be.
Especially
with
in current
injuries.
form.
Has
Yeah.
to be.
But right, so let's take the injuries out of it.
Yeah.
Is he England's best right back?
In my opinion, yes.
He's
He
performed
offers the
best.
most.
Yeah, this season he's been the best.
Both defensively and attacking, he offers the most, in my opinion. He's so defensively sound that how can he not be the best right back? Like, Kyle Walker's brilliant. He's flying. But I still think Walker and Trent Alexander-Arnold, their defensiveness, or they're defensively not as good as Trippier. And it's just, I don't know. I think Trippier should be the first name in the squad for England.
I do think Kyle Walker is also is a top player. He is. I know he defensively makes mistakes, but his speed, he gets out of so many.
Well, see, to be
situations.
honest, I don't think it's controversial to be like, oh, Kyle Walker's a good footballer. Like, Kyle Walker's good.
He is a good
but that's what I'm
footballer,
saying.
And he's also defensively good as well. Yes, I think Trippier's been better than him this season, but over recent years,
But that's what I mean. Yeah,
Walker's been fantastic defensively.
I think Trippier,
like, he really, really has.
this season.
Well, it's supposed to
Trippier's
play him in
definitely been
centre
the
back
best.
for England.
Yeah. Like, he plays in a back three. Like, you don't, like, it's the same as Luke Shaw too. You know, I can remember a time when England had that back three. Shaw was actually playing at left centre back, and
that's
Walker
right.
was playing at right centre back, and they both looked solid. Like, Walker is good defensively, but look, Trippier this season, he has 1 goal, he has 3 assists. He is part of a defensive back line that has kept most clean sheets this season. I think it's a no-brainer, really. You know, I think Trippier has to start at the World Cup.
He will definitely start.
Yeah.
And if not at right back, you
At
know,
left back.
at left back.
Yeah, Southgate likes him, especially with
more-
Chilwell and all out as
Yeah.
well.
It's more you look at boys like Dan Burns. Like, how is he not getting in the England squad? He's been
He's been fantastic this
fantastic
season.
this season. You know,
Have
what does it
Newcastle the
take?
best defensive record in the league?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've
Yeah.
kept most clean sheets.
Yeah. It's insane.
I know. It's
You know, honestly, like, I know we'll get on to talk about fantasy later, but like, Trippier is like the 3rd highest point scoring
Yeah.
player in fantasy this year. He is absolutely unbelievable. Like,
Yeah, Newcastle have been brilliant this season.
they have.
And it's where they deserve to be. A club like Newcastle should be in the top 4.
with
And it is
Newcastle
where
as
they deserve
well.
to be.
It was. They didn't even play at their best.
No.
They still won the game. It was 1-0 and Southampton missed a few. Alan Nusi's miss was just 6 yards out.
Criminal.
Net
Criminal.
missed it, and then Adams, what a miss as well.
Mm-hmm.
They rode their luck, but that's what the good teams do, and
Yeah.
that's what you do. You go away to Southampton, which is, I know they just sacked their manager, but it's still not easy to go away there. That's the only place I think Arsenal have dropped points, except for the United game as well. So it's a big win.
It is a big win.
Southampton sacked the manager today.
I know.
Yes,
As of
they did.
recording.
They did. I think he's really been sort of. Again, we were talking about Thiago Silva being stitched up last week.
Yeah.
I think Hasenhuttl has been stitched up this week.
Yeah.
I think if you look at the long list of injuries that Southampton have had for a vast majority of this season, you know, they've been without Balakotchap now for a good few weeks. Lavia was injured. I know he played yesterday, but that's the first time we've seen Lavia since the Man United match. They're without Livramento. He's not going to be back to January. And they're now without Kyle Walker-Peters as well. And arguably Walker-Peters has been, you know, their best player over the last sort of maybe 6-7 months. So
I think it was more down to last season, though. I think I seen a stat there. Only Watford got less points in their last 12 games.
Yeah.
So he basically saved Southampton at that stage.
Yeah.
Became 16th.
The form
Terrible
was
run of
dipping.
form.
Yeah.
And then they come into this season and they've lost 6 of their last 9. They've 12 goals in 14 games. I do agree with you. The injuries are killing them. You know, even I think Adams was injured there as well. But
Do you think it was
I
right
think
for
it
him
was
to be
time-
sacked, Connor?
it's hard to know.
he's a good manager.
I think
though.
it was. I think it was coming though. I think it
Yeah.
was even his comments after the game.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, he's just saying, like, he's even like, we're just not playing well, and it's your job to fix it, kind of
Yeah.
thing. So I think it is unlucky because he's done a great job, but I think even the fans were looking to change.
I like Hasenhuttl. I like his coaching.
Yeah.
You know, I like the style of football. Like when Southampton were on good periods of form with Hasenhuttl, they played some really, really nice football.
When they appointed him, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, high energy, high press.
Yeah.
Look, I know I was saying he got stitched up, but like the recruitment this summer was not great. Why are they buying all these? I understand
spent,
developing for the
83
future.
million.
Yeah.
But there are, I was looking at the players like 20, 21.
Yeah.
It's very young.
Like, you need to go out and buy established Premier League players to complement the youth as well, and they just didn't do that. It just seemed to be a spending spree of, oh, let's go to Man City's academy and pillage every talent
Yeah.
that they have. Like,
But their director of football came in.
He swapped the clubs,
He got the loan players in.
But even at that, like, it's just...
As you say, though, the players they did sign have turned out to be good players already.
Yes.
But they should have had established
more
players
experience.
with that.
Yeah.
Southampton are a
To
selling
help them
club as well.
progress.
They are a selling
bringing
club,
in
yeah.
these young players for a bit of money. 30,
Well, look at
40
Lavia
million,
straight
sell
away.
them on.
They bought Lavia for what, 14 million?
Chelsea
And
were
by
going to pay
50 million by the end of the exact same window.
Honestly, Chelsea's a laugh, but we'll not get into Chelsea. Honestly, like,
Leave Chelsea.
they are a laugh.
Well, here, just before we move on, me and you were talking about this yesterday when it was rumoured Hasenhüttl was going to be sacked. Who do they go for? And I was thinking they can't get any better than Hasenhüttl at the minute. However, a name has come in to the news today, and at the time of recording, he hasn't been hired, but apparently he's the leading candidate, and that's Nathan Jones of Luton.
I think it is nearly done.
Nearly done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll happen.
Well, he's a leading candidate. He has 342 games as a manager. And in those 342 games, he has an average point per match of 1.6 points. That's incredible.
Jeez, that is quite strong.
Incredible.
Yeah.
They're 8th in the championship, 9 points off top, but they're only 2 points off the playoff places. And they reached the playoff last season, Connor, didn't they?
Yeah, they reached the playoffs last season, and it's like he plays attractive football, and they have very low budget. They're severely overachieving. So, and with Southampton, I seen Sean Dyche was linked to the job, but that'll never happen. With Southampton, they want to play attractive football, attacking football, as you say, high press, and I think he is the man. I don't think there's anyone else really out there.
Well, we'll see in the next few weeks.
He's
Or
very-
the next few days, probably.
Very underrated coach.
Yeah.
I think he's been around the game for quite a while. I think
He was a caretaker at Brighton in 2014-15,
Yeah.
which I didn't know.
He was at Stoke
he was
too,
at
wasn't
Stoke.
he?
He was a
He got
Stoke.
sacked
Yes.
at Stoke.
So
I remember
after
him at
Brighton,
Stoke.
he went to Luton for his first spell in 15-16. He was then hired by Stoke in 18-19, and then he left Stoke and went back to Luton in 19-20. Yeah, he's been
Funny,
around.
my grand is a massive Luton. He always looks out for Luton every
Really?
week on final score. Like, he loves Luton.
No way.
And Luton have been on a good rise under him the past couple of years. I
Yeah.
think he's won a couple of promotions, and they're a good side.
Yeah.
They are a good
Nobody
side.
expected the
He's
playoffs last year.
overachieving. That's
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
for how low his budget is.
I can remember they had that Irish striker.
They've still got him, Collins.
Collins,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's flying this season.
He was banging goals
Yeah.
in.
They
you
were
know.
like, I'm pretty sure odds on to get relegated from the championship
Yeah,
last year, and they got the
crazy.
playoffs. Like, it's
Yeah.
just
Crazy the
Crazy.
turnaround that they had. All right, West Ham, Crystal Palace. West Ham at home on a home defeat. Beaten by Man United last week. Beaten by Crystal Palace this week. Results not going their way. Declan Rice. I want to throw a stat at you, boys, and you actually might be a wee bit shocked at this. I've put it in here on my notes as Declan Rice downfall ? Declan Rice this season is putting up his lowest defensive numbers in his last 3 seasons in the Premier League. And when I mean lowest, I mean substantially lower than what his stats were the following 3 seasons. A lot of people have touted Declan Rice to either go to Chelsea or Manchester United and become the midfield linchpin of whatever side he goes to.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, boys, I've watched West Ham quite a bit this year, and Declan Rice is not impressing me whatsoever.
It is this season's form, though, as well. Like, I went to see United and West Ham. Not to talk about United game, but I went to see United and West Ham last year, and we got a 93rd minute winner, but Declan Rice was, far and behold, the best player on that pitch. He was phenomenal. Everywhere the ball was, Declan Rice was there. And that was, if I watched a game on the TV, I wouldn't notice that. But you see, seeing him live, he was phenomenal. I do think it's down to West Ham's form. Same way as Jared Bowen was talking about him last week. They're underperforming in an underperforming side,
Yeah.
rather than underperforming
Individuals, right, okay, fair enough. But I just think it's a talent sign when your best player is struggling as
Yeah.
well. You know, he's their captain.
Captain,
He is meant
yeah.
to be the guy that leads by example, and I don't know. I've watched him. I've watched West Ham a right few times this year, and he just really hasn't impressed me. Especially going into a World Cup where he is, the nailed-on starter for
Yeah.
England.
He's the main man in that midfield.
in that midfield.
Yeah.
But if I was Southgate, I'd be looking at it. I'd be worried.
No, I agree. He has been struggling this year. The only thing is, I think he's trying to attack a bit more. I've seen he scored against Southampton maybe the week before. He was okay against Man United.
Yeah, he had that shot at the end. He was definitely getting more forward.
He's trying to get more forward. I think that's it. And then he's just.
Do you think it's maybe a transition from a defensive midfielder to maybe more of a
I think he's trying
box
to
to
become
box?
an all-round midfielder, like a box-to-box, as you say.
I just think though a box to box midfielder needs to still maintain good defensive numbers.
Yeah,
Like
stick to what you know.
Another
Yeah, they need to recover the ball.
Did you see about they were like, who's better, Casemiro or Declan Rice? Like, that's just. ridiculous.
Silly comparison.
Yeah.
One has won 5 Champions Leagues. The other hasn't even played 5
But I think
seasons in professional football.
What you're saying as well is like out of the ordinary, because you don't see anything about that, do you? You don't see is Declan Rice struggling this season because there's this like bias that he's just the number one, England number one.
Well, he's English. That's why it's the bias. You know, like they're not gonna slate one of their own realistically. So, look, Eberechi Eze on the opposite side on Crystal Palace. He is in serious form at the minute.
Playing well.
Looking like a really, really top player. I have down here, is he good enough for England? Well, he has 2 goals and 3 assists in his last 5 appearances for Crystal Palace. He struggled at the start of the season through injury and trying to get himself back fit again. But these last 5 games looks like vintage Eberechi Eze, and he's looking good.
Yeah. Well, look, I think Patrick Vieira is doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah, he
at
is.
Palace.
Great job.
And his recruitment's been fantastic as well. Like, we're talking about Eze now. I'm sure we're going to talk about Elise, the match winner, as well. Yeah. Both Elise and Eze were bought from the Championship, QPR and Reading, by Patrick Vieira, and they have both been brilliant acquisitions. Absolutely brilliant.
They both complement Zaha very well,
They do. And I thought when they were signing them both, because they're both more of an attacking midfielder than a winger, and I was thinking when they signed them both, how are they going to bring both these boys into the same team? Well, he's managing it.
Well, Eberechi Eze is actually playing as a number 8 at the minute, rather than a 10. And that, like, his numbers all round this season have actually just improved.
Zaha's been decent this season.
Zaha's been very good this year.
And it's good to see, because Zaha has been playing that Crystal Palace side since, 2014 or something?
And he's out of contract in the summer.
He's out of contract in the summer, but he's been playing that Palace side, which hasn't been great. He's been the main man.
He's been the main man.
And he's having to do everything for Palace recently. Yeah. So it's good to see him have good players around him.
But that's it.
It complements him.
Yeah, like now he has, like, the thing I like about Palace is I like Guaida, their goalkeeper.
Yeah.
He's very good with his feet, and he's also a good shot stopper. Yeah. Their 2 centre backs, Gehi and Anderson.
Yeah.
I swear,
Anderson was a steal.
Find me 2 better defenders
was
with the ball at their feet. Yeah. See their long passing ability and playing out from the back. They're excellent, and 2 really.
I think they got Anderson for like 20 million or something.
Like,
and that was after a season of Fulham.
Yeah. This new fella, is it Doucouré? Sorry, you call him.
Yes.
He's come in now. He looks like a serious box-to-box midfielder. It was him and Eze playing up alongside each other this season. They look really, really good. I think he's managed Elise very well, because Elise is still very young. Yeah. Needs a little bit of time.
Well.
He had the injury too. He needs a wee bit of time just to bleed back into the side. But I think... And now Edwards come into form too.
Right.
I think, Palace
good side.
Palace good side.
Yeah.
I think they definitely... I think Mitchell's been off the boil this year at left back, and for some reason they still haven't signed a right back.
Ward plays there, doesn't he?
Yeah, but you know, how long can Joel Ward?
Well, I think Wan-Bissaka will go back in January.
Yeah, well, maybe he does. Maybe he does, but I don't think Wan-Bissaka makes Palace any better.
I think he does.
I think Ward,
he definitely does. He's an improvement in Ward.
Ward,
so
I think. Ward has played something.
Do you know what I
mean? Ward has played like every
minute. The disrespect.
Ward has played like every minute for the last like 2 years or something.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Really?
Something like that. Yeah.
That's incredible.
It is. Like, I'm pretty sure Ward's over 30 at least, isn't he? Yeah.
32 or something. Yeah.
All right, Leeds and Bournemouth, potential game of the season candidate.
Yeah,
honestly,
4-3.
it was absolutely crazy.
End to end.
I think the first team I'm going to focus on is Jesse Marsh's Leeds. Obviously, got a great result at Anfield last week. Somerville scoring the game winner, and scored the game winner again this week. But I think the player that really stood out for me in that Leeds side, in terms of I noticed just his off the ball actions and some of the runs that he made. And they look like elite level forward play. Rodrigo, he's up to 7 Premier League goals now this season. Playing alongside Somerville, I think the two of them just look very, very good together. They seem to complement each other very, very well. Leeds overall looked like a better side. The thing that actually really surprised me about Leeds the other day was they took Mark Rocca off at half time, and they brought Sam Greenwood on. Yeah. They actually looked like a better side.
Big call, because Sam Rocca. Or Mark Rocca, is a great player.
Yeah, he's been unreal for Leeds this year.
And all.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great defensive midfielder, and to take him off to bring on an off striker, well, obviously they needed it, but to change the whole system around, that was a masterstroke from Marsh.
Greenwood changed that game. The goal he scored.
No,
goal and assist.
The goal was excellent.
Unbelievable goal. Then he set up another one, and then they brought on this Italian forward.
Ganotto, isn't it?
Nanto.
Sorry if we don't pronounce it.
Yeah, sorry. Apologies,
he has 6 appearances for Italy, and he's another top player that we're saying. I think Marsh was saying, like, basically he's definitely going to be starting soon because he's just playing that well. Yeah. And that's a great turnaround for Leeds because that was a big win. Bournemouth would kind of be in and around them. But for Bournemouth, that's 2 weeks in a row they're giving up a 2-goal lead.
That's
Two-goal
true.
lead.
Which is criminal.
It's heartbreaking. Like you're looking at Gary O'Neill on the touchline, and you feel like you just feel so sorry for them. They've now conceded 7 in their last 2.
Yeah.
But do you know what the annoying thing about Bournemouth is?
I think they've conceded 32 goals this season.
But they play so well.
Yeah, they're
Like-
a good team to watch.
You like that? They come up from the...
Yeah,
and they're trying.
It was like
They're
when
giving it a
Bielsa
go.
had Leeds.
Yeah.
They were conceding loads of goals, but that was an exciting team to watch every week.
But see, under before Gary O'Neill was there, I think it was just like they were a bit too static and they were a bit boring. But now he's just come in. He's just like, we're gonna go for this.
Yeah.
But then, as you say, you can see goals, and then
But like they played like against Leeds. Yes, they conceded early, but they played so well for the 60 minutes that they were in the ascendancy, and it just seems to it's like the flick of a switch. They just seem to switch off entirely, and defensively they switch off as well. But like, do you see for the 60 minutes that they are playing well, you're watching them and you're going, they are actually a really decent side. They have some decent players. Like Billing's unreal.
Yeah, it's
Solanke's
Underrated.
very good too.
Solanke's goal was class.
Tavernier, very good too. You know, it's just a shame for Bournemouth, really. All right, Everton, Leicester. So, the blue side of Merseyside.
Disappointing.
another loss.
Do you think they're disappointed, or were they well beat? Because in
No.
my opinion, I think they were
No,
well
they were
beat.
well beat. No, not disappointing in the performance or result. More the performance. They've
Yeah.
been very, very poor this season. I think.
Over the season, do you think? Yeah.
They've been underachieving. They only have 14 points this
Yeah,
season. They've
especially
only
recently.
I think they've scored only 11 goals or something like that.
They've 3
Just-
points from the last 6 games.
They
So-
draw a lot too.
Yeah.
Sort of highlights the need for a top striker.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. So, Lampard said that Calvert-Lewin, Idrissa Gana Gueye and Onana are to undergo injury scans. Well, it was today that was to happen. Where do they strengthen? Without Calvert-Lewin, they're not scoring goals. Look, they've been defensively good. And Onana's been one of them players who's been brought in by Everton, and he's playing great stuff.
Yeah, he's really stood
But
out.
that's the thing. You're right. I think we said this last week. It's not the defensive.
Yeah.
I think we were complimenting Cody and
Yeah.
Tarkowski. It is.
They didn't replace
There's
Richarlison.
just no attacking threat.
Yeah,
I know Iwobi's actually been okay this season.
Yeah.
He missed a great chance. At
playing more in the
beginning of the
midfield
game.
though, in
Yeah.
the centre midfield there will be
I
though.
think, as you say, they need a striker.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
they've needed a striker. How long have they needed a striker for?
Well, look, they got rid of
Years.
Richarlison.
Yeah, and didn't
Yeah.
replace him.
Like they needed to buy a striker then.
Yeah.
And it's like you mentioned earlier, like Gio Simeone. Like there's players like that on the market
Yeah.
that they could have gone for, and they just opted out of
and
getting.
Everton,
it.
Yeah.
Everton do spend money. Like it's
They
not
do.
as if
Yeah.
they spent 40 million on Iwobi. It's been more. It's been their signings have let them down.
It has.
And not this season. I don't mean like the defensive ones, but in previous years they spent the big money on these players and they just haven't delivered.
Yeah, they haven't clicked. They
And
haven't
then they
clicked.
depend too much on a Calvert-Lewin who is injury prone, and they just struggle to score goals.
Who do they buy then in January?
I don't know.
I know the best striker, but as you said last week,
It's
It's
there's
so
a
hard,
severe lack
especially-
of
it's-
centre forwards.
It's tough.
It's so hard in January to go buy a striker too
It is.
because they just up the price.
Any good one as
Oh,
well
it's just-
isn't going to want to leave their club.
That's it. Like
James Maddison then, obviously fantastic game from him again. 2 assists. Shoe in for Qatar, isn't he, boys?
has
Yeah,
to
he
be.
has to be.
See, 17 goals, 13 assists since March 2021, and like you compare that to like Jack Grealish, 4 goals, 3 assists. Like
It's crazy.
how
like.
can you not take him?
It's crazy.
I know
honestly.
he does. I seen he in the first half he had 6 shots, but he sets up 2 goals, and he's just confident.
Yeah.
He's just that kind of player.
Look, Leicester. Look, we actually said it last week. Leicester's a good side, and I
Too
think
good to even be down
to
the
be
bottom.
down as far as what they are. Like you'd sort of hope now maybe they do put a bit of a run together and get themselves out of that relegation zone.
Well,
because-
they're out of it now.
Yeah,
Like
Um,
Telemans as well was.
well, he was outstanding
Yeah,
yesterday. He was outstanding. Like
Well,
they
we were
just
talking
need
about
a
Rodgers
march
as
on.
well last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could be making the right decision and keeping him.
I think it is the right decision.
Yeah,
Like Rodgers is a good manager.
Look in the next few weeks. We'll see the results in the next few weeks. Well, or sorry,
Well,
after the World Cup now.
I know it's just so.
I know,
weird,
you
isn't
just
it?
think
Exactly.
it's crazy, isn't it?
You're like,
World
oh,
Cup
here we
in the
go.
middle of the
Here
year.
comes the fixtures, because especially coming up to Christmas
I know.
time and all playing flat out. But no,
All right, Wolves and Brighton. So the news was announced yesterday. Julian Lopetegui
Yeah.
has been confirmed as the new Wolves manager. Obviously has won a Europa League, plays some of the most attacking and expansive football out there. He's coached the Spanish national team,
Real Madrid.
coached Real Madrid too. Obviously has a big pedigree. Coached Sevilla. What do you guys think about that appointment?
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. I think genuinely they needed to bring in someone who had a notion of Portuguese and Spanish. If I'm being 100% honest. Look, Julian Lopetegui is obviously a great manager. All the teams we've just mentioned that he's managed. Wolves are just in a bad rut at the minute, and their squad is aging. Like, they're still relying on players like Joe Moutinho, who, don't get me wrong, has been fantastic, and for the last 3 or 4 years that he's been in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But their squad's aging. They can't rely on Jimenez anymore because he's always injured. They need a striker. They need goals because they're conceding, yes, but that young fella Collins, I think that was a brilliant signing by Wolves.
Yeah, he's been very good.
But I think they need someone up top to be finishing the chances because it looks like Neves is scoring all the goals at the moment.
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of penalties.
All the goals
lot
are
of
coming from
penalties,
midfield,
yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of it. And De Zerbi then, finally, you could sort of say he's starting to find his feet now. Trossard, once again, impressing.
Yeah.
Pascal Gross, impressing once again. Seems as though Brighton are just going from strength to strength at the minute, really.
And fair play to them. Nobody thought that would happen after Potter was gone.
No.
Nobody thought that.
I actually thought that we're going to crumble big time.
Yeah.
But the one thing I'll say about De Zerbi is De Zerbi is actually quite a similar coach to Potter. They sort of play a similar style of football. I think that's why the transition's been so easy. But Brighton are really good at that. Brighton are real good at making those transition periods sort of very seamless. I remember when it was from Houghton to Potter, it was a seamless transition.
Yeah.
And now from Potter to De Zerbi, it's a seamless transition. Their transfer business is always spot on. So
The recruitment team, in terms of staff as well as players, just seems to be brilliant.
they're just a well-oiled,
Well-run.
well-run
Well-run
football
club.
club.
Yeah,
And
they
fair play to them. Final game of the Premier League then. We're covering Nottingham Forest and Brentford. I have down here my notes, boys. Nico Williams was the man of the match. It was a draw, but he played very, very well. I have in here, is it a bit of a regret for Liverpool to let Nico Williams off the books?
I don't know. Look, as a backup right back, I think Liverpool do need a backup right back, as we spoke about last week. Yeah. But what were they offered? 20 million or 15 million?
I think it was 20 million.
It was in around 15, 20 million anyway. For an academy product who wasn't really going to break into the first team squad, from a player's perspective, it was brilliant for him to go and get first team football. I think it was a no-brainer for Liverpool to sell.
But with Trent's bad form, this season, Connor, what's your take on it?
Well, I think I said the same thing last week. I just thought it was poor on their part, to be fair. They've no back. They have the young Scottish, I think it's Ramsey or something.
Ramsey,
Yes.
Calvin Ramsey.
But even if Arnold got injured or something, I know they play Gomez there, but I just don't understand. It's not like Liverpool they need to sell him. They don't need the money, really, do they? It was just a crazy. Unless he wanted to leave, he wanted first team football. I don't know why they sold him.
Yeah.
Well, they were constantly putting him out on loan.
Yeah. Maybe Klopp doesn't.
He mightn't have fancied him.
Fancy them.
But you know what? Why didn't they reinvest that 20 million in a new right back?
I suppose they probably looked at Ramsey and thought Ramsey was going to come in and be the backup. But has Ramsey played any minutes for them this
But it's
season?
like Liverpool.
But he's very young. He's very young.
Liverpool as well. They have the one thing I will give them credit for is they do get rid of players at a good time. Like I remember they got rid of Abe and they got rid of
even the
Solanke. They get
Jay Spearing, do you remember that one?
They're getting big
Yeah,
money.
right.
They got good money for players and they just got rid of them at the right time and improved the squad. So I do think they need a new backup right back unless this Ramsey guy starts coming through. But we'll just have to wait and see.
And not going to lie to the listeners at home, actually didn't really get to see the Forest and Brentford game other than the Sky Sports highlights. So all I have in here for Brentford is probably they're the biggest scandal their club's had to deal with. Ivan Toney now alleged to have gambled over the last 7 to 10 months on football. So it looks like he could be out with a hefty ban. That's going to affect Brentford big time, isn't it, lads?
Well, not to speculate though. If it happens and the investigation comes through that has happened, then it could be a lengthy ban. But until then,
massive miss.
Until then,
do you
there's
think
no point speaking about that.
Well, do you think? Let's just say hypothetically, Toney is found guilty, and hypothetically he gets a hefty ban. Do you think that puts Brentford in relegation trouble?
I don't know. Depends how January goes.
I don't think so. I think they'll also know probably by that stage they could maybe get a striker in. Yeah. They were unlucky as well. Did you see the equaliser? I know I didn't really see much of the game. I've seen the highlights. The equaliser, they get like me kicked it against the back and own goal. But I think they'll be fine.
Yeah. That's fair.
Thomas Frank's a good manager.
Yeah,
he knows what he's doing.
He is a good manager. I just think For me personally, just I think without Tony though, they are going to struggle to score goals big time. And again, like you don't like to say that a player is bigger than a club because realistically, no player is bigger than a football club. But I just feel like Tony's one of those ones where I think whenever he does finally leave Brentford, I just think they're going to be in trouble, to be honest.
The odd thing as well is we keep saying, if they get a striker, where are these strikers at?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
where
tough
are they
saying
coming
it
from?
the whole
There's so many teams that need a
Striker. I know. Like how many teams have we run down today and went, they need a striker. They need a striker.
It's just it's mad, isn't it?
It is crazy. All right, we're going to move on then to an actual fan's favourite, believe it or not. I got a couple of good messages about the player of the week. So, Connor, who is your player of the week this week?
Well, this week you can tell I'm not biased, lads. I went for Mo Salah. As I was saying earlier, 19 goals and assists in the last 20 games. 2 goals against Tottenham. He took his goals well. He could even have got a hat-trick. I was looking at other players like Saliba's playing well, Ben White. Yeah. But I think Salah was just...
He deserves it.
He was standout this weekend. He was standout.
There was this week there was no real obvious
sort of standout player.
But
I don't know. I thought Salah was...
He was very good.
Was really, really good yesterday.
And as you said, it wasn't just his goals. It was more his all-round play. Like, even I remember there was a stage he was getting a blocking in the box. Like, he was working so hard.
He was constant. He was constant yesterday,
No, I'll go with Salah.
Go with Salah. Okay. So, do you want to run through predictions then?
Let's go through a few predictions.
For next week. This is a new segment.
We have got... The first game is Manchester City versus Brentford. I'm saying a City win.
Yeah, City win.
Has to be. Liverpool, Southampton. Liverpool at home. I think Liverpool will win again. Connor, what are you thinking?
Southampton, new manager, new bounce.
Oh, maybe.
Southampton to beat Liverpool.
Bold call. Connor Dorman.
Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool. Has to be. Bournemouth, Everton, that's a good game. At the Vitality. But I think Everton bounce back and get the 3 points.
I'm going to go Bournemouth. I think they're going to rectify these last couple of results, and I'm going to go Bournemouth win.
I'm going to go draw.
Draw. Nice. West Ham, Leicester. I'm going to draw myself.
I'm going to go draw too.
Draw.
Leicester are playing better now. They're defensively good. Do you know what? Leicester. Go Leicester.
Leicester away from home. Ooh.
They're playing so well. As I was saying last week, Ward and your boy, the new guy, Fares. He's been sensational, so I think.
Next game is Tottenham versus Leeds. I'm going to go a bit rogue and say Leeds United win this one. Connor?
Yeah, I don't think that's controversial at all, to be honest with you. Spurs have not been good. But I think they just have enough to get over the line, so I'm going to go Spurs win.
I'm going to go Spurs because, as we were saying, it's the bigger teams to struggle against.
Yeah.
It's not the kind of... And I think Leeds will come out and they'll try and play football and they'll just counter them.
Yeah, that's true.
I go Tottenham. Yeah.
Forest and Palace. Connor Dorman, what do we think?
Forest, Palace. Palace are playing well.
Yeah.
Forest are at home though. Forest are a bit better at home. Do you know what? I'll go Palace.
Yeah.
Palace.
Richie?
I'm going to go for a draw.
I'm going to go for Palace just because I think away from home.
Because we talked them up.
Yeah. And they're a tricky team. They always are a tricky team. Newcastle, Chelsea. I think that's the fixture of the week.
Definitely. I think
Connor?
Newcastle.
The
way they're playing at the minute with the crowd.
Yeah.
Chelsea are playing so poorly at the minute. I'm going to go Newcastle.
It's at St James's Park, is it?
St James's Park faithful.
Yeah, I'm going to go Newcastle.
Yeah. I'm going to go draw. I think there's more chance of Newcastle winning than Chelsea, but I'm going to go a draw for that fixture. Wolves versus top of the table Arsenal. Richie?
It's hard to know with Wolves, isn't it?
It's at
new manager.
It's at Wolves, is it?
I'm on you.
Do you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go a shock. I'm going to go Wolves.
A Wolves win?
Yeah, I think Wolves are going to beat them.
I think draw, because I think Arsenal are going well, but just before the World
Cup, they'll
drop a
loss,
point and then City will go top.
Yeah, I agree, Connor. I think it'll be a draw. Yeah. I can't see them losing before the World Cup. Brighton, Aston Villa. I'm going to go a Brighton win. Just Unai Emery's not going to succeed.
Every week, just go.
I'm going to go against Villa every week. Yeah, it has to be a theme. No, I do think Brighton will win. Brighton are good at home. And I think it'll be a good game, especially after watching Villa yesterday.
Yeah, do you know, that could actually end up being the game of the week in all seriousness. Yeah, Brighton at home, it's hard to look past them at the minute, really, isn't it? So, yeah, I'm going to go Brighton win.
Yeah.
Disagree with you.
Yeah.
Boys, Brighton,
3 Brighton wins. And the last game of the match day is Fulham at home to Manchester United. I think United's going to bounce back. I know it's easy for me to say because I'm an optimist, but
Can I ask a
Man United
question?
win.
Is
Go for it.
Mitrovic playing?
Um,
That will be
no, I
huge.
think they actually said that the injury was more. It's been a recurring injury from the international, so I think he'll probably sit that one out. I think they'll just wait till after the World Cup to bring him back.
Yeah.
Even if he was playing though, United smash Fulham.
Yeah,
Well,
I think
I'm gonna-
United win.
I'm
Connor
gonna-
Dorman.
Yeah, 2-1 United. Yeah, I'll go United.
2-1 United. Okay, so now moving on from the Premier League fixtures, we've got another segment that people loved last week, and what a pick it was, by the way. We've
Picked them
got
up myself.
Richie's pick
Picked them up
for the
myself, lad.
Fantasy League. Last week it was Miguel Almiron, chipped in with, what was it, 8 points?
Well, I captained him, so he got me 16.
He got you 16. So tell us, Connor, who's your pick of the week? Who's Richie's pick?
Miguel Almiron.
Miguel Almiron.
Triple captain this week.
Do you know what? I really racked my brain after the game week thinking of,
Yeah.
of who to go for
It
pick
was
of
a
the
tough
week.
game week.
Yeah, it was really tough, and I sort of tried to weigh it up. Do you know what? I have another midfield player. His price has gone up a little bit, but he's top player, and he just keeps impressing week in, week out. My pick of the week this week is going to be Leandro Trossard.
Ooh. Tell me why.
I just think, he is 5 in his last 6. His form at the minute on the fantasy app is sitting at about 6.2 points a game, and I think he's. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think he's just above 6 million.
Home to Villa.
Home to Villa.
He's a steal, like, really.
He's a
Yeah.
steal.
Your thing as well will be good as well.
Gross?
Like, gross.
Gross, yeah.
Well, I'm one of the guys who put him in at the start, and
Yeah.
he didn't perform well, so I took him out, and then suddenly, of course, he's
Of
performing
course,
well again,
he's,
so
he's picked up.
he could be another
Yeah, look, I just think Trossard is. He's
No,
just
Trossard's
brilliant.
playing
He's
brilliant
just, look,
this
he's,
season.
he's just doing it week in,
No-brainer,
week
really, to be
out.
honest.
No brainer. It's coming up to the World Cup where he's probably going to be starting for Belgium. Yeah.
See, a lot of people as well this week would probably make a lot of changes because there's only 1 week to go.
One
week to
go.
I'm just going for
I'd say a
it
lot of people would be using their wild card now
Yeah.
before the World Cup.
And a lot of people are angry
after last week.
because after I think everybody
Cancelo.
had
Cancelo.
Joey
There's
Cancelo
a
in
few
their
boys,
team.
few boys I know.
Honestly.
Cancelo, and they were not happy.
Honestly, like
Yeah. Well, I captain Holland this week, but that's just because safety and.
Well,
whatever.
we had a friend, triple captain Phil Foden.
shout out to Soddy.
So you've heard it here. Richie's pick of the week is Leandro Trossard. And we're going to finish off with OD's opinion. So obviously last week, my opinion.
Just a bit controversial.
Yeah, just a bit controversial. I said that Unai Emery wasn't going to succeed at Villa. I stand by my statement, even though they beat Man United. I stand by my statement. I think
It's too
anybody
early.
could have been hired 2 or 3 years. I think Villa sacked them anyway.
Anyone can win their first game, like.
Yeah,
It's too early.
exactly. I do just think Villa's one of them teams that they think they should be higher where they are, which is fair because they're a top club. I think Unai Emery's not going to succeed in the long run. So my opinion this week is about Man United again, but it's specifically about Cristiano Ronaldo. I think, now this is given we sign a replacement, I think that Cristiano Ronaldo should be sold by Man United in January.
Yeah, I agree.
Totally agree. Yeah.
Why do you agree with me?
He's a problem. It's plain and simple. Don't get me wrong. Like when he signed again last summer, I've never been more excited in all my life. I actually thought we were going to win the league. I was getting giddy. I was saying ridiculous things like 21's coming, and like I was so excited. The fact we were living over in Liverpool and we could travel to Manchester so easily and watch the games. Like I seen my hero. I've seen my childhood icon score. An 88th minute winner in the Champions League. Like
Mr. Champions League.
Mr. Champions League.
Champions
Like
League.
I'm not gonna lie. Nothing gets much better than that there. But.
He's the ultimate professional, but it's just.
No, well, he's not.
No, but.
No, but he's
I was-
not, though,
but I was about
Connor.
to say, no, what I was about to say is he's the ultimate professional, but his attitude.
All right.
I thought you were going to jump over there. Like. No, but his attitude is just like his attitude at times is just horrible on the field. He's just blaming everybody else, throwing the hand up in the air, always complaining. Even he was fighting with Mings yesterday.
Yeah, like
It's just.
I thought it was a huge call yesterday to name him as captain over David De Gea.
why? Like,
I know.
Didn't understand that.
like at times I
And we were
said
talking
there.
up De Gea last
De Gea,
week.
yeah.
He came out when we were going badly. Did we see Ronaldo do that?
No, but again, like, it's so frustrating. Like at times I sit there and I go, do you know what? Ten Hag, great coach, great manager, and he's dealt with Ronaldo really well. And then he comes out yesterday and names him as captain, and I'm like,
No, I agree. It's Ten
what are you
Hag.
doing? Like,
Wall back Ten Hag, and it's too early to know. But sometimes Ten Hag does stuff like where it's just out of the blue. You're like, Where's that come from?
Yeah, what's that
like
about?
bringing on Maguire as a striker, or
But you know what? Here
against
we the
Chelsea.
question.
I know.
Realistically, here we the question.
That's why we're here, lad.
I know. I suppose that's why we're here.
Yeah,
we're
look,
chatting about it.
I just think Ronaldo's a problem. I know Connor, you said he was the ultimate professional, but like I think his attitude problems and stuff show
attitude.
that
It's
he's
attitude,
just not.
Yeah.
And
All you hear is, he's good around the young players and all that, but it's on the field. He's always blaming somebody.
yeah,
It's just-
but you know what I mean? Like you hear that he's good around the youngsters, but then like you see him on the TV, like he screamed at Alanga at a point yesterday, and yes,
To be
Alanga,
fair, I'd scream at
yeah, Alanga probably deserved it, but at the same time, like he's not the most. I don't know. I think if I was a Man United player, which I'd love to be,
maybe one day, lad.
and I'd probably be like Garnacho. I'd be like looking to play with my idol and all too.
lad.
But at the same time, like I just
What age are you now? 20,
24.
Could happen yet, lad.
maybe
Get back from this hamstring.
get back from the hamstring injury, and who knows?
Who knows? You
Who
never know,
knows? You
lad.
never know, lad.
But I think a lot of players are also like in awe of Ronaldo, as you say, and they're a bit afraid of him. Like they're probably afraid to say anything to him, so he just probably gets away with everything. Like even the way he just walked off.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
that's what I was going to ask
The
about
sub,
you.
yeah.
That's the last point I want to make. He walked off. What do you think of that?
it's just a totally
just
an utter disrespect. Like
Should the one game out against Chelsea been enough?
no,
Should he play for United again?
no.
Realistically, in my opinion, I don't think he should have.
No, I don't care who you are. Like, I really don't care who you are. Like, that's Cristiano Ronaldo. That man is ultimately, he's probably the biggest footballer of all time. You know, obviously people have their debates about
Most
who's
Instagram followers,
who's the best, but like in terms of
globally known.
yeah, just globally known. Like Ronaldo's the biggest footballer in the world. There's no question about it. You know, he knows he's in a different position to other footballers, and yet he still acts that way.
He knows
That's
he's
a good
always
point
in the
That's a good
spotlight.
point as well, though, because he knows, like, he's above,
He knows
so
the
he's
camera's
gonna
on him,
get away-
lad.
He knows he's going to get away with that too.
Yeah,
Like, imagine a young player done that. They'd be
released?
I think it was. There's a guy at Ajax done that. There's a guy at Ajax done that.
Yeah,
and
he refused to come
he
on.
refused to come on.
That's right. And he
oh,
never
that was Eunice.
He
Eunice.
got
Eunice,
sold, didn't
the
he, to
German
Napoli?
fella.
He got
Yeah.
sold. Yeah,
He never played. He never played for
again.
Ajax again.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was sold.
Like,
Like,
I do
it's-
think Ten Hag, but the talk was that Ten Hag, if they could have got a suitable
it's a replacement for him.
they would have got rid of him. Gakpo was a suitable. Well, I don't think he would have been too suitable, but he was a linked player.
He was an option there anyway.
So if, as you say, in January, if there's a player available, I think he'll leave.
Well, that's my opinion this week, folks. It's that Cristiano Ronaldo should be sold by Manchester United if they can find a replacement. If they can't, our attacking depth isn't good enough to not have Ronaldo in the
It's
squad.
all right. I'll be back from a hamstring injury
Happy
soon.
days.
Man
Happy
United,
days.
you can
Richard will be
sign
back
me.
from his
Thank God.
hamstring injury. Well, folks, I think we should wrap it up there. I think that's as good a place as any to wrap it up.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed listening to episode 2 of the Bottom Bins podcast. Be sure to have a look at our new website. I think we'll find. Hopefully, we'll get this podcast on Spotify this week.
Yeah, still working hard to try and get that sorted.
No guarantees, but in the next few weeks, definitely it'll certainly be on YouTube.
And again, folks, we're having a little bit of trouble with video at the minute,
Yeah.
so we're trying to see whether we can upload this in video or not. If not, we do apologise.
But it is coming.
But it is coming.
Yeah,
we
we'll
will
work
get
it.
something sorted.
Yeah. Look, it's only our second podcast. We'll work out the kinks.
Yeah.
Very, very
But
soon.
also, like, people in the comments, if you disagree with us, we don't mind that. Do
Yeah,
we?
let
Yeah,
us know.
yeah.
We
Listen,
need to know.
fire your opinions in
Yeah.
there. You know, if I'm being a clown, tell me I'm being a clown. Doesn't bother me.
Realistically, we started this so that everybody could be involved in our conversation, and we just hope, realistically, that you do feel part of our conversation. So, thank you, boys,
Yeah, thanks very much.
Thanks very much.
and thanks to everybody for listening and subscribing.
See you next week.
See you next week.